Something feels off, doesn't it? No matter how much effort you put in, no matter how many plans you make, you keep finding yourself stuck in the same cycles, the same thoughts, the same doubts. That's not coincidence. It's your mind, looping patterns, feeding distractions, convincing you that this is just how life is meant to be. But it isn't. The moment you question it, the world begins to shift. That's exactly why your mind resists. It wants you blind, comfortable, and trapped. Yet here you are. You're noticing, questioning, listening. The real question is, will you finally step beyond the cage? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will completely change the way you see your own mind. 1. The hidden wall. Why you struggle to see clearly. Life often feels like a loop you never chose. You wake up, follow routines, chase the same desires, wrestle with the same doubts, and the patterns repeat. It's almost as if you're living a story written by someone else, a script that you never agreed to, but somehow keep performing. Every attempt to change seems like pushing against an invisible force, a resistance you can't explain. That force is your mind. Your mind is both a powerful tool and a hidden jailer. It filters what you perceive, decides what matters, and shields you from discomfort. But this filter wasn't created consciously by you. It's the sum of everything you've been told, every memory, every belief society has passed to you. The world you see isn't fully your own. It's a reflection of patterns embedded in your mind. Your mind doesn't seek truth. It seeks comfort. It wants familiarity, safety, and predictability. Change feels threatening, because if you saw life as it truly is, the illusions it has built around you would begin to collapse. And that is why the moment you start questioning reality, resistance rises, because awakening threatens everything your mind relies on. 2. The invisible program, how your mind keeps you confined. Imagine waking up in a labyrinth, so vast, so complex, that you cannot see its walls or its edges. You don't remember choosing to enter this maze, yet somehow you have been wandering its corridors for what feels like forever. Every twist and turn seems familiar, even though you can't recall ever learning the path. Each time you think you've discovered a way out, a distraction appears. Something subtle at first, a fleeting memory, a thought about an unimportant task, a sudden feeling of anxiety, or even a random noise. And in that single moment of distraction, the exit vanishes, and you're back where you started. This is exactly how your mind operates. Every day, it presents an endless stream of distractions, interruptions and diversions, worries that feel urgent but are inconsequential, temptations that pull your attention away from what truly matters, impulses that demand immediate action, and random thoughts that seem impossible to control. They are not accidental. They are deliberate, in the sense that your mind has learned how to protect you from seeing too much, from questioning too deeply, from stepping beyond the familiar. Your mind functions like a sophisticated algorithm running silently in the background. Patterns of thought, automatic emotional reactions, recycled desires, and unconscious fears play on loop, most of them programmed before you could ever reflect on them. Even experiences you don't consciously remember have shaped the way you react today. And beneath all of this noise, beneath all of these patterns and distractions, lies the real you, the silent observer, buried, overlooked, waiting for recognition. Until you start to question the maze itself, you will never notice the walls, let alone the exit. 3. The illusion of free will. Do you really control your mind? Most people believe they are fully in control of their choices. You think you decide what to eat, how to respond to situations, what to feel, what to think. It feels intuitive. You are in charge, right? But stop for a moment and examine this belief. Have you ever attempted to stop thinking completely, to sit in silence and make your mind still? If you have, you know the experience. Thoughts keep arising uninvited. Memories appear. Fears bubble up. Judgments form. Desires flare. Ideas surface. None of this asks your permission, yet all of it demands your attention. This is because your mind is not under your conscious command. Thoughts are shaped by past experiences, cultural conditioning, fears, habits, and subconscious programming. They arise automatically, and most of your life has been spent reacting to these thoughts without realizing it. The illusion is so seamless that you confuse these automatic responses with you. 4. Why the truth is hidden in plain sight. If the truth is so simple, why don't more people see it? The reason is distraction. Your mind is a master illusionist, tirelessly orchestrating scenarios and presenting diversions that pull your attention away from the present, the only place where truth resides. It drags you into the past, replaying regrets, failures, mistakes, and unfinished stories. It projects you into the future, generating anxiety, fear, and imagined scenarios that may never happen. It captivates you with comparisons, what others are doing, what others think, how you measure up, whether you are enough. And when all else fails, it bombards you with constant noise, social media feeds, endless entertainment, superficial goals, and countless small urgencies, each demanding a slice of your attention. Why? Because the truth exists only in the present. If your mind can keep you focused anywhere else, lost in memory, projection, or comparison, you will never pause long enough to experience reality as it truly is. Imagine sitting in a room with a light switch in front of you. Instead of looking directly at the switch, your mind insists you stare at the floor, at the corners of the room, at anything else. The light is right there, obvious, waiting, but your attention is being misdirected. And what happens when you finally stop? When you resist the pull of distractions, when you sit still, when you stop chasing thoughts, desires, and fears, the illusion begins to crumble. Slowly, you notice the patterns, the walls, the noise fading, and you glimpse the raw, unfiltered truth behind everything your mind has been telling you. 5. The first step to seeing through the illusion. Breaking free from the mental maze is not about silencing thoughts, controlling emotions, or forcing yourself to change. The first step is much simpler, yet profoundly difficult. Step back. Your mind is desperate to keep you engaged. It wants you busy chasing the next worry, reacting to the next impulse, following the next desire. But when you pause, when you step outside the automatic flow, something remarkable happens. Awareness arises. See every thought for what it is. Patterns designed to capture your attention. Observe every emotion without immediately following it. Notice every impulse, every urge, every compulsion without acting on it. Realize deeply that these thoughts, emotions, and impulses are not you. They are events happening inside the mind, like waves on the surface of a vast ocean. The moment you recognize this, the experience of life changes. You stop being trapped in automatic reactions. Invisible forces lose their control over your decisions. For the first time, you experience the possibility of freedom, and that is where true awakening begins. Not by doing, not by fixing, but by seeing. 6. The thought loop. How your mind keeps you stuck. Have you ever noticed how certain thoughts keep coming back, no matter what you do? The same doubts, the same worries, the same regrets, over and over. Even when you try to move forward, your mind drags you back to familiar patterns. It's like being on a treadmill you never signed up for. No matter how fast you run, the scenery doesn't change. Why does this happen? Because your brain is wired for predictability. Familiar patterns feel safe, even when they hurt. Growth, change, and truth feel unpredictable, uncomfortable, and even threatening. So instead of letting you explore the unknown, your mind loops you back into familiar thoughts. It doesn't care if they cause anxiety or pain. It only cares that you stay inside the comfort of what you know. The way out is not resistance, not forcing thoughts away, not trying to fix your mind. The way out is awareness. The next time a repetitive thought arises, pause, watch it, observe it without judgment, recognize it for what it is. A loop, a pattern, a familiar pathway your brain keeps walking automatically. Once you see it clearly, the loop begins to lose power. Slowly, very slowly, you start creating space between yourself and the repetitive thought. And in that space, freedom begins. 7. The ego's defense mechanism. Why your mind resists change. As you begin to wake up, you may notice something strange. Your mind starts to fight back. Doubts creep in. This isn't real. I already know this. Nothing will change. Old habits return with a force you didn't anticipate. Excuses appear out of nowhere. You feel the pull to go back to comfort, to retreat into the known. This is your ego defending itself. The ego is the mental construct of who you believe yourself to be. It depends on the illusion of continuity, on the story you tell yourself about your life and identity. When that story is threatened, the ego sounds the alarm. It floods your awareness with distractions, judgments, and doubts. Its goal is survival, to maintain control, to preserve the identity it has built, to keep you trapped in predictable patterns. The distraction trap, how your mind keeps you from seeing. The mind is a relentless trickster, keeping you occupied with unimportant tasks, endless desires, and minor crises. Every time you approach the threshold of truth, a distraction appears. A notification, a worry, a task, a fleeting thought that pulls you away from presence. It is like a magician performing sleight of hand. Just as your attention focuses on what matters, your mind redirects it to something irrelevant. This is not accidental. The mind's survival depends on keeping you asleep, engaged in the familiar loop rather than noticing the freedom beneath it. The only way to escape this trap is recognition. See distraction for what it truly is. Observe it without judgment. The moment you do, the grip of the mind begins to loosen. Space opens between thoughts, awareness strengthens, and clarity begins to emerge. In that space, life can be seen clearly, and the patterns of illusion begin to unravel. So the next time life feels repetitive, the next time you catch yourself reacting to the same way you always do, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I truly awake right now? Or am I simply running on autopilot, repeating patterns I didn't even choose? Because the moment you start noticing, questioning, and observing, that's when everything begins to shift. And if you're ready to go deeper, share your thoughts, drop a comment, and stick around. What you've seen so far is just the beginning. The real journey starts now.